All right, so it is where the update with Bremo on this particular platform, sir. The MPP, the New Patriotic Party, they brought out a statement. Statement on the buy, na more patches, as per the party's constitution, Dr. Bawumia, he needs to pick his running mate before a year, December 7th, which is today. So yesterday, we were all hoping in anticipation, so who would the running mate be? Now, even before that, we saw say party executives and even certain leaders and even the spokesperson of a year, Dr. Bawumia, and Oba out on OKFM precisely and in Sembi to just say Bawumia's running mates could be announced today, tomorrow, and in the future. Ghana phobia enya botre. Now that comment in the bar, even before that comment, we heard say Bawumia still na as unsettled will be as because initially, the first person na Bawumia would have been okay to use him as a running mate, obviously. And you'll be as Alan Cash. And we all saw what happened in regards to Alan Cash. Alan Cash left the race during the first round of elections, and the second person I know so likely can contend and people wanted him to be a running mate. King Japan. King Japan refused. He further went on to gain almost 40% in the November 4th elections, and King Japan after that said that he has no plans of joining Bawumia because he believes that Bawumia is going to lose the 2024 election. So yesterday, everybody was really all eyes was on Bawumia and Bawumia's team. Who is Bawumia going to choose? Then the MPP Council of Elders, together with people in the party, then the bombshell news came that Dr. Bawumia is running mate. Now, unfortunately, Onya running mate. So the big question is, why has Dr. Bawumia not got the running mate? For us to understand this whole thing critically, we need to look at the tall list of potential VP picks of Dr. Bawumia. As you can see on the screen, so there are 5 main people. We are very much certain, say, out of these 5 people, Bawumia is going to pick one of them. Initially, there were rumors of Sefa Kayi in Japan, but Sefa Kayi have come out clearly to say that he has no plans of being Dr. Bawumia's running mate. And then the other person to in Japan, he has no plans of being in the mess that Bawumia has created. Now, or Bawumia running mate, it can even damage his chances and even his credibility as a businessman and as a politician. So the question is, what happened now? Before this whole thing, we saw recently, there was a graduation in Kumasi KNUST, and that was the first time that we saw Dr. Bawumia and Kwame Japan coming down from a private jet, and they were greeting the people who were welcoming them, and the connection, the bond between them. People says, okay, it is very much evident. Say, Bawumia is either testing the waters or trying to see if he can really correlate or cooperate with Kwame Japan. That was one. The other person also do events be as na adowa for any other air work come no de ni din etonyom say Bawumia's upcoming VP Napo. Now Napo or a very controversial, but at the end of the day, a lot of people believe that Napo can do the job, looking at how young he is, and even the fact that Ofi Asante Memo. The other person now also opposing Napo or no from the one, he is also stood by all of this a year. Osechi Mensabos, the majority leader in parliament. Now, recently, he came out with a statement. Our party said, Bawumia's running mate should not be somebody or hot-headed and arrogant. Now, people didn't understand this. This was a direct jab to a year Napo, because Napo, people believe in Napo a hot-headed, need to be in the Oyak as a 700. Then Napo to release the pictures, any videos are not the president. And now see, night say all patch say on your mokasa wako to obunko to and was release a similar picture from the camp. And also now obunko to in front of Samira Bawumia and Dr. Bawumia. Kind of to squash that assertion, say he is hot-headed and arrogant. Now, one person do I think so a very bad choice. Eslo. If there's anything that this woman has done to Ghana, she has destroyed everything. And let me state it emphatically clear, say, if Eslo should become the vice president, obviously, it is going to be a doom because this woman has no credibility. Recall, even before this November 4th elections, she has been going on a vice presidential campaign tour. Bawumia Ekonof, and also Akonof, na as or tour honia dead until a month for workers, we minister. Yenyan to Abano. I didn't know start a tour in sort of to Ghana support and portray yourself as a potential VP pick for Bawumia. Then she stopped. But then all the while, her actions and Neman HS says she's really in for the job. Nancy Omotu November 40, Bisa who he voted for. He clearly blasted Ken Japan onto Ken because Ken is casting aspirations and insulting people who he doesn't share opinions with. So clearly, Eslowusu have really um, shown her stance. One other person though, oh no, so no, oh yeah, on the list, Fremont Parry, the chief of staff. Now this woman, okay, I said she's been in the news for all the bad reasons, okay, and we don't know her job up until down, but she's the chief of staff. You know what chief of staff means? Ebra year vote 11. This was the woman that they sent her to do the dirty works. Of course, Sarah Safufi several times trying to persuade her to vote for the E-levy. The other time that she also came into the news was when Omoto August elections, NPP presidential August elections. Who's not doing the session bar say Ebra Fremont Parry ebe vote no. Obi obe vote o vote you upon a office. So all the other electors and other people who vote, the voters no who vote you near Sefa Fremont Parry office. So qua envelope $5,000, $10,000 near the amount. So that was the first time we saw Fremont Parry's name pumping up, and we can see say once she's doing or sharing money in the per person, then she's also in. Even before this no. Husna said Fremont Parry wants to be a running mate, so she's doing everything in the corner to secure that spot. So all these 5 people are potential people Bawumia could settle on to be his vice president. But then let's be emphatically clear, out of all of this list, there's not even one credible person who has shown that Obitima Yejuman. It would be very wise for Bawumia to bring somebody out of the box. So at the end of the day, it is going to balance the role of power and even the assertions that people think about him. Why? This is because at the end of the day, Bawumia's running mates, and most of these spaces that you see on the screens, the 3 and the 5 people that you see, all of these people, they are in government. Oseche Mensa Bones, majority they in parliament. He's in government. So I'm MP. Okowa Gata Crane. Let's look at Eslowusu. Eslowusu might have done some job at Ablekuma, North or South, the constituency. But when it comes to the communication ministry, she's failed woefully. Gone are the days 2016 when this woman was 2015 before 2016 elections, when this woman was on social media, on TV, now Kwame Sefa Kayi show. She was talking as if say, yeah, man power, she's going to change Ghana's fortune. Now she took the power, she's arrogant, and last time we saw what really happened on at Parliament, ye bisa na sem kra no osidien and else lowusu we dry man say or true obi say ni sakran so nature. It's very, very sad. We and so few in terms of the woman's and Eslowusu, her credibility and even her work and worth, we can say it's down. This is because in terms of the communication ministry that she's heads, recently we've seen how Ghana even let me give you a breakdown. Since this woman became the woman, the communication minister of Ghana, we've had many telecom organizations and telcos fail. One of them is Selfline. For some reason, Selfline, omo yira kakra ye so omo ye maintenance, but mene ye hu Selfline biom. 2, again, ye waha, ye see MTN, omo ye the market share holder. S&P, the biggest market shareholder. So this woman, to stifle the competition, she rather brought in measures to kind of downgrade or cripple MTN completely. Knowing it's MTN, they are creating thousands of jobs, and their result of quality jobs is because of the way they handle themselves. And in history and in business, we know that private companies do better than public companies because of the mismanagement and the human papa and that is the mentality of Ghanaians. So Eslowusu's message to the telcos has to stifle all the other adversaries to make Vodafone, which is partially now owned by Ghana, the number 1 telco company in Ghana. But this same Vodafone too, they can't match up the competition because poor quality sales, poor quality service, and even customer service, you never get them. And recently we saw that she pushed MTN further to eliminate these data bundles are not omuwo. Now amount for use 2 gig, 3 gig a day. No, she pushed them to take it off. Secondly, Tinansi Wahasi, one motor 300 gigabytes for 300 cedis, and they are about 97 cedis. That's like almost a 40% increase. And this woman, all that she's doing, her mind is that she wants to stifle MTN. And if there's anything we've learned in this country, said prices of food has increased, price of petrol have increased, price of water have increased, price of electricity have increased, everything has increased, rents, everything has increased. The last thing that people want is to go home, watch some TikTok, laugh and sleep. and also will increase it. And you want this woman to become their running mate, I think it's going to be a very bad idea for Bawumia. Fremont Parry, other hand, no, I don't know the job of Fremont Parry. Aside from say, I say OCC MPs to pass a bill, and even Hopes Nadoya session say Ochichiska, we don't know her job. For Kwamne Japan, no, or your hot coal at the same time to or your cold ice. We don't know what is wrong with him. He was the same person in the presidential campaign. The bash said Bawumia has woefully failed the economy. Or lose elections, sniper who's a bit my potential VP pick, smart guy. What did he start doing? He started licking Bawumia's boot. Now he's all over the place, saying Bawumia has done a good job, and then we should support him. The next thing we saw was him in a private plane with Bawumia at a year Kumasi to go and attend the KNUSTA. So this guy, you could see clearly say he's just a yes man. Bawumia be used as a puppet for Napo's credibility and everything to is at stake. We've not really seen what Napo has done. Still, Ghana is facing doom. So when he became the education minister, his ministry failed woefully. A brave free SHS no after the year who say cool say, but people were still paying more than even time and any free And now free SHS has really failed because at the end of the day, we are seeing all of these things up and down and how parents are even suffering and how the schools are crowded. It is all because Napo, who pushed to implement the free SHS, really failed to actually implement it in a way it will ease the burden on Ghanaians. So all of these people, you could see that none of them even cut off the list. The two people though who I would say could have really changed the fortunes of Dr. Bawumia, Ekene Japan and Bawumia, Kwame Sefa Kayi. But these two people too, they've smelled like dog. Or Martin can say 2024 Bawumia is going to lose. So why join the losing trade? I don't have that time to become Bawumia's MP for him to lose 3 times to damage my credibility. So Kendi also on Kokra because he knows and is foreseeing the impending doom which is coming to the New Patriotic Party in 2024 elections. For Kwame Sefa Kayi, or Sisof will be Beka say or some die who say Kwame Sefa Kayi VP or catch us off on the die no so musa on peso be VP. So you can see clearly it's not like Bawumia. The words that Bawumia is saying is that we have the men. Bawumia has the men, but they don't have the competent and the right men. That is it. So if you are watching and wondering, said that Ben Bawumia be PK, the VP picker, this is the whole thing that is really going on in regards to Dr. Bawumia. And we can tell you for a fact that things are not looking good for Dr. Bawumia. And honestly, I think to be very wise for Dr. Bawumia to pick somebody out of the base and as out of the establishment. At the end of the day, we can see okay, Nipa Dr. Bawumia Deneban is going to actually give a refresh or kind of a reset to this whole thing. People were even considering Dr. Opoko Inyam, which is also not a bad idea, and even others were also saying so bit me do before outside this whole thing about. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to credibility and the work that that particular individual can do. Obi say chairman wuntumi a sebi ontimi ntro ni di no enye say bia why galam see enye skin tino and as wakoye kwanche business enye skin tino bit me vice president amano. It takes people who have the balls and who have the raw intellectual know-how. So basically this is exactly what is really going on. If you've not heard Bawumia really announce his running mate, this is exactly what he's going. We'll give you more updates as all of these various events unfold.